Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Storytime Slots Walk Talk. Beautiful Sunday morning here. Yeah, it's been raining. Got a break in the rain here this Sunday. So I thought I would come out and do a walk and talk, episode number 12. Today we're talking about situational awareness, how important that is in a casino environment. We're also going to talk about the thoughts and feelings and emotions I was feeling when I stopped playing on my last video. Look at this. What a beautiful morning this is here. Yeah, it's probably going to rain a little bit later today, but we're going to do this before, hopefully it doesn't rain. But thank you for joining me, guys. So it's good to come out and walk, and I'm glad I can do this today. Wasn't sure I would be able to do this because there was more rain in the forecast. Let me just adjust the mic here. But anyway, it's early morning here. It rained all night, but we got a break in the rain. So, welcome to Storytime Slots Walk Talk. If this is your first time, I haven't done this in a while, so I got to get back into the swing of things, you know what I mean? The sunrise is always nice here. The reflection of the sun and the wet ground here. This is one of my local parks here. People are walking. We're walking and we're talking. So, this thing keeps turning on me. Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning. I haven't had my coffee yet. I thought I'd have my coffee after the walk and talk. So, a couple of things that I'm going to try to do very, very, very soon. You know, we're already in 2026. I talk about the gambling. I talk about, you know, being aware at all times of your situation. That's going to help you. It's going to help me lose less in casinos. We're still going to do what we like. We're still going to go. You know, we're still going to be in the game, but not that. We're going to try to limit our losses. I am going to try to limit my losses for the year. I'm going to be aware about things this year at casinos. You know, yeah, I'll talk about that. I'm going to talk about why I'm doing all this, why it's so important for us to do these things to change the outcome of casino visits. Okay, it's all about situational awareness. The definition: being aware of your situation at all times. I know sometimes it's hard. I know sometimes that can get crazy at casinos. You just don't know. Things happen. You're on tilt. You dig in. 100 after 100 after 100, and before you know it, you know, you're down a lot of money. But we'll get into all that. But what I was trying to say in this beginning of this walk and talk is, you know, I talk about bettering my health all the time on these walk and talks, and this is part of it. It's just going out there, try to do as much walking as I can. Look at this. They cut out the float viewing. So over here, I'm gonna try to go over across the way here. The Rose Parade. You guys know the Rose Parade? Well, it happens in my city every year on the 1st. So over here, not too far from here, is where they have the floats on display. And you can go with a fee and look at them. And they're right across the way here. And they block this road up so you can't walk there. We're going to try to get as close to them as possible so I can show you, if I can show you that, the floats for the Rose Parade this year. So they have them here on display when people can go and look at them up close. So sunrise Sunday, today is January 4th, the morning here in Southern California. I really want this thing. Why is this thing? Hold on, guys. 1 second. Again, I'm having some issues with the mic because it keeps turning on me. So if we do this, we just don't want this mic to turn. Okay. So, yeah. It's important for me at this stage of my life to get in shape, right? So I'm making the proper adjustments, the sacrifices to do all that in this stage of my life. It's tough. It's tough, okay? So along with everything else that I need to adjust, the gambling, the casino trips, the losses, I have to really watch what I eat. I have to really watch what I consume. I want to lose weight. These 3-4 days, the New Year's, Christmas, this whole week has been tough. You have family functions. Why are you turning on me? Okay. So you have family functions. It's tough to stay on track. And yeah, I did cheat. I did have cheat days. And, you feel good when you eat junk food and things that you're not supposed to, like all these carbs. But then it takes effect on your body, and I felt the need to curb that right away because I didn't want to gain what I lost. Okay, I felt my schedule sliding away, and I said, you know what? I'm not gonna gain all the weight that I lost these 4 months. I'm not gonna go back. So now, this 3 days, it's been 3 days since I'm back on the saddle, just trying to get back into that routine of, high protein, vegetables, and starting these walks again. I'm going to get more serious this year doing this because I have a goal to hit. May or June, I want to be under 200 pounds. That's the goal. Alright, so this thing is pissing me off, so I'm going to... Hold on. I'm going to do this. 1 second, guys. Alright. So, I just don't want it to rub on my sweater and make all these weird sounds coming out of the audio. So along with that, I was thinking, okay, the smoking. I'm addicted. I'm not a chain smoker, but I smoke probably a little less than 1 pack a day. So how am I going to stop that? And I thought that, this is going to be very, very, very hard to stop too. But I woke up this morning and I realized, dude, you have to do that too. You think I can do that? You think I can take the initiative and finally quit the smoking? Finally, just curb that addiction that I've had for decades. Now I'm currently smoking, and that I want to stop that. I really, really want to stop the smoking, guys. So it's gonna be a rough if I start, I'm gonna just quit cold turkey, guys. With me, it's not just a couple people give me suggestions like, hey, I'll have a couple cigarettes a day, or smoke half of the cigarette, throw it away. Now, all that stuff doesn't work, guys. For me, it's cold turkey or nothing. Suffering for 3-4 days, maybe a week, and then it goes away. I know I've quit before, but then I started. It's that initial 3-4 days of suffering when you don't have nicotine in your system. And no, I'm not going to do the gums. No, I'm not going to do the patches. I'm not going to do any of that. Look at these. What is this? Military vehicles? Huh. Kind of cool, huh? Crazy what's going on in the world, huh? Hey, squirrel. We don't talk about world current events on this channel. I try to stay clear from political talk, but crazy what's going on in the world, huh? U.S. captured Maduro. Whew, that was crazy, man. Oh, looks like the Venezuelans are celebrating it. Oh, the United States Marine Corps. Okay, this is what this is. United States Marine Corps, 2nd Battalion, 23 Marines, Commanding Officer, Inspector. All right, nice. Thank you for your service, ladies and gentlemen. I always have high regards for our troops and law enforcement. I think it's needed. Anyway, I don't want to get into the politics of all that stuff, but that was crazy, huh? The way the U.S. military forces, whether you're for it or against it, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about how it happened. It was crazy. But I won't get into it here. I don't talk about politics or world current events. This is a gambling channel. You talk about gambling. This is what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for. Anyway, all right, so yeah, the quitting smoking. Yeah, I want to do that, guys. I really want to do that this time. I'm going to give it a go this week. I don't know when, but I'm going to try to give it a go. The best time to do it is the beginning of the year, just so you have a good track of where you're at and how long you've been doing what you're doing, the new stuff. Anyway, situational awareness, why it's important and why it's hard, but it needs to be done, man. In casinos, things get foggy, fuzzy. You might get on tilt. You might not know where you are at times. You might dig in. You might lose, and then you want to play again. And then at the end of the night, you don't know where you're at. You don't know how much you spent. You don't know how much you're down, and this can be crazy for a lot of people. Okay? This can be crazy for a lot of people because I'm just trying to observe what's going on here. Look at this. Be all you can be in the Army. U.S. Army truck. Is this a recruitment truck? Pretty cool, huh? Pretty cool. Looks nice. So just think about it. When you join the military, you know how many sacrifices, you know how hard it is to train, you know how hard it is to do all that. But we're here, sitting here, bitching about gambling and how we can't quit. Come on. We can do it. This is Pasadena High School parking lot. This is where they have the floats. But I'm just trying to find out where it is. What's all this? Paper. Oh, it's a map. Oh no, it's a crossword puzzle. They were giving away crossword puzzles. Okay. So, you know, things get crazy at casinos, right? Being aware of your situation is the number one thing, because what happened to me on the second when I went, I never done that before. I never just stopped playing and didn't feel it. I just did not feel it that day. What happened? I just lost my free play, and the way I lost, and knowing the people around me playing and how they were losing, I took a break. After that session, I stopped recording. You saw it after the hot pots. Went in and got something to eat. And then I didn't really feel like playing after that. I don't know. I had a bankroll, guys. I took $1,000 with me. And if you know, I had 100. I lost $100 on pots of my own money. So right now in the year, I went to the casino once, which is January 2nd, and I'm down $100 of my own money this year. Okay? That's the totals. One visit, $100 down. Now, why I didn't play, I don't know. I just didn't feel it. I wasn't feeling right. I didn't want to go home a loser. I didn't want to go home down $1,000 so soon. After coming off a great holiday, coming off a great new year, coming off great videos, talking about gambling, talking about how we should curb the money we lose, I really didn't want to be that guy that just goes in there and loses everything right away. I mean, I didn't want to do that, guys. So I just stopped. I didn't want my gambling losses that day, because I know there was a big chance of me losing everything, my bankroll, down $1,000. How would I have felt? I would have felt like crap. I would have felt like, hey, did I really want to feel that so close to the Christmas and New Year, and starting off the year losing like that? No, I didn't want that. And I stopped gambling. I ate, I observed. I was there for an hour and a half after that, just looking at people. I wanted to see if I could see somebody hit a hand pay, but I didn't see anybody hitting hand pays that day. For whatever reason, the things were tight. And I was there early afternoon. Okay, I was there early afternoon. And I left late afternoon. So that's day one. Hey, this is Pasadena High School. We're in front of administration building here. There's nobody around because, it's, what is it, 7:30 in the morning here. Sunday morning. Everybody's asleep, getting over the night. Hangovers, this, that, resting, and I'm here walking. You gotta sacrifice to change, guys. I mean, I could have been in bed right now. I could have been, it's cold out here, but I could have been cozied up in bed too. But I decided to do this walk and talk. Episode number 12. Yeah, situational awareness. Somebody left me a comment today saying, situational awareness, it's going to be huge. I like that, It is, guys. It's so important to be aware of your situation, where you're at, because a lot of times things are not going great at casinos, and you just dig in, and at the end of the night, you lost a lot of money, guys, and it's hard to recover. It's really hard to recover. And but if you're aware of what's going on, there's different things you can do during gameplay that might change the outcome of the situation for you. So far I haven't seen one float. There's different things you can do to change the outcome. Number one, take breaks. Go eat something. Number two, just slow down. Okay? We're always in the mindset of just, we gotta play. It's coming right now. I fed the machine too much. It has my money, it's gonna pay me back. No, that's not being aware of your situation. That's being stupid. That's being, you're probably thinking, hey, that's a common occurrence in slot play, which is, I fed the machine, now it's gonna pay me. No. You'll be surprised at what I've been through, guys. I've been through that. I lost a lot of money like that. And I don't know what it is, man. Gambling is a one weird animal, guys, especially in slots. You really don't. Well, where are the floats? Did they move them from here because of the rain? Gambling is crazy. One day you're on, and one day you're hitting it, just like I was hitting it about 3 weeks ago when I hit that major. First hand pay of the channel, official hand pay. I was winning. Every slot I would sit down, I would win. I would get nice big hits, bonuses. After that, it seems like I turned the faucet off. It just feels that way, guys. I don't know if that's true, but it just feels that way sometimes. I guess there are no floats here. Huh. It said float going this way. Where do they put them? That is weird. Going a bit of an uphill here. I'm trying to find them, but I can't. Anyway, I don't see no floats. I don't see nothing like that here. I think they moved them. But anyway, we'll go back. Yeah, so we dump. Yeah, what I was saying was gambling is weird. Yeah, it's just like one day you're on and the next 9 days you're off. And you can't buy a bonus. Like, how many times have I tried? How many damn times have I tried? If we go this way, I will just go this way. I guess it's over. They moved the floats out. No more floats. That sucks. I guess they were getting damaged from the rain. I don't know. Anyway, so that's the way slots are, guys. Sometimes you can't buy a bonus. Whatever you do, changing denom, changing bets, changing this, changing that, it really doesn't work out. Yeah, they moved the floats. This is where people would come to watch these floats, but I guess they're gone now. Huh. Or maybe I could be wrong. I don't know. So, what was I saying? So yeah, like, I tried, After that bonus, after that free play round, I never had a worse free play round than the 2nd of January. Never had a free play round that horrible. And it was pretty bad, guys. It was pretty bad. It was pretty sad. And $205 free play only yielding $35. I mean, come on. So I know it's hard to be aware of your situation and your money situation at all times at a casino because of all the environments and because of all the the bells and whistles, the people having fun, the screaming, so the screaming, everybody's having fun. You want to have fun too. You want to have fun. Yeah, they're disassembling all this stuff now. See? January 3rd, yeah, the floats are gone, guys. For some reason, I thought it wasn't going to be gone, but it's gone. Oh, look at this street light, they're putting it back. Well, maybe we could cross. Guys, hard at work here. Putting things back in order. So I guess it's a tradition. Like all the floats come here. Like I told you, they view them for a week and then they all take off. So I guess everybody just took off. The floats are gone. Sorry guys, I brought you here for nothing. But anyway, we're still walking. We're still having a good time. So things can get crazy. You could go to the casino. You can look at everybody playing. You could look at everybody winning, and it could affect you. It affects me. I want to be part of that. You see your neighbors hitting majors, minors, bonuses. You want to hit those. So what happens is you get angry. When you lose, why not me? You start digging in more. Now if I bet like this guy, I can get that bonus. No. He just happened to hit the right button at the right time. And it was his day to hit that bonus and the jackpot. So limiting your budget, limiting what you take to casinos can be a very smart thing, all right, but you got to stick to it, guys. I know it's hard, and that's part of being aware of the situation. Your situation, everybody's situation is different, okay? Everybody's situation is different. Your financial situation, your bankroll, how much you bet is relative to how much you can afford to lose. So don't look at your neighbor and want to copy him, because your situation might be very, very different than his. You might not last as long because you didn't bring as much, That's how much you can afford to lose. $1,000, okay? That doesn't last you very long in these new modern slot machines. They're high volatile games. You saw how fast $100 goes, man. You saw how fast $100 goes. If you don't get anything, that $100 is gone. Matter of minutes. So, second 100 comes out, third 100 comes out, fourth 100. Before you know it, $500 you're down. What you could have done with $500 outside of the casino environment, right? What you could have done. But no, you had to go and dump it there. So taking a budget, let's talk about that. Taking a budget and sticking with it. It's very, very tough, okay? Like I just mentioned, the money goes so fast that you feel like you're not satisfied. You didn't scratch that itch that you were there for. You didn't scratch that gambler's itch, because the money goes so damn fast. A lot of times, and this is the way I used to be, when I was there, I'd totally lose control. Situational awareness? Yeah, right. There's no awareness there. All I wanted to do was gamble, and I didn't care. Go to the ATMs, withdraw money, take out the money that I couldn't afford to lose. That I had plans for that money. How many of you guys been there where you got money in the account for bills? You wrote the bills, but it takes a couple of days for them to take the money out, right? But you already wrote the bills. It's still sitting there. How many of you guys go to the casino You have that money available to you. You take that money out. You're not supposed to touch that money, right? That was for the bills. What happens? A bad situation happens, guys. And this is very, very common, okay? This is losing control at casinos. You're losing control. You don't know what's going on. You're in a daze. You don't care. You might know, but you don't care. How many of you guys think that, okay, I'm going to take this money, I'm going to make my money back now? All right? And maybe this has happened to you guys before, where you would risk the money that you can't risk, and all of a sudden, you find yourself up from a miracle. You made your money, got all your money back, and now you're in a profit, and you think that, hey, this is always going to happen. No, it's not, guys. You're going to be stuck. You're going to be stuck. You're going to be in trouble. Now you're going to have to find ways to recover that money in your account so you can pay the bills, because the bills are going to go through next day or something or whatever. You know, you don't want to be overdrawn. Common occurrence with gamblers, guys. Common. It's very common. And this is what happens when you try that risky move. Yeah, you might get lucky and it might pay off for some reason, but you might not. I mean, this is risky, guys. Never do that. I mean, this is one thing that is very, very, very dangerous. So it's all part of being aware of your situation. The situation might be casinos. The situation might be how much you got. Bankroll management awareness. It's all tied into the situation, right? You know, how much you're up, how much you're down. You might get into a nice little roll on a slot machine, right? And then you start pumping the bets without knowing that, hey, you just broke even. Without knowing that, hey, you just made a profit. But what ends up happening is you start dumping more and more and more. You start pumping the bets. Your credits go up, then they shoot all the way down. And this is how modern slot machines perform, guys. Have you ever noticed? You put in $100, you might hit a bonus or two in the beginning. All of a sudden you're up $60, but then what happens? You don't hit nothing after that. You lose that and plus your $100, and then you dig in. That's how these machines are wired to perform. Have you noticed that? I mean, this is just the way things are. This is just the way they act. Okay, so how do we break that? How do we take advantage of that? Being aware that this is what happens most of the time. Okay, number one, situational awareness. This is what happens most of the time. So what can you do to take full advantage of that? Well, easy. Try to cash out at the peak of this happening. Now, it doesn't happen all the time, guys. Don't be fooled. Nobody knows the code of how these slot machines perform. They're very unpredictable. However, if you notice this, you know, I always make videos. Hit a bonus, move on, right? Doesn't always work, but sometimes it does. And I've had really good success rates with playing like that. Not being afraid of moving machines, not being stuck to one machine, not being married to one game. My buddy, all he was into was Dragon Link. He didn't want to learn anything else. He didn't want to play anything else. He wanted to play Dragon Link. And I always thought, like, man, with his bankroll, he might get lucky on a newer game. Why is he always stuck on this Dragon Link game? People are different, guys. What can you do? People are different. It's kind of an uphill thing going on here. I feel it. Yeah, they moved the floats, guys. The floats were over here in this field. Sorry, guys, I came one day late. Yesterday it was raining too. So, yeah, don't be married to one game of machine. Like, move machines. So if you take full advantage of the peak of this type of behavior from slot machines, this might, and again, it's not 100%, but this might, man, how many people came and watched the floats? I mean, I see all these porta potties. I've probably walked past 50 porta potties already. You see I guess it's big business here in the city. You know, every year you get the highest number of tourists because the Rose Parade is nationwide, right? It is a nationwide occurrence. It's world famous, actually, the Rose Parade. And then you got the Rose Bowl game here at the Rose Bowl. Magic Johnson was the, what do you call it? The person at the parade. I forgot what they call that. The Grand Marshal. Magic. Love the Showtime Lakers. I love the Showtime Lakers. That was the heyday of the NBA. If you watch basketball, was Magic versus Bird. You know, pretty much I stopped watching basketball ever since Kobe and Duncan retired. I stopped caring. I don't watch basketball no more. It's not the same. All they do is shoot 3-pointers. Golden State Warriors ruined it for a lot of basketball fans. All of a sudden, shooting 3-pointers became so awesome and so exciting to watch. No, man. Anyway, so back to what I was saying about gambling. Let's walk through this park. I went around the park here. So glad it didn't rain. Glad we could take this stroll together. So being aware, guys, just all that stuff matters. Aware of your surroundings, aware of how much money you have in your pocket, and how the gameplay is going. Oh yeah. So what I was trying to say was, this was a uphill walk, guys. Gotta catch my breath a little bit. So yeah, how do you take full advantage of that kind of thing? Knowing when that peak point is, knowing when that bonus, they give you a small little bonus. It's okay to cash out at $40 up. It's okay. You know, sometimes we get caught up in like, oh, it's not big enough for me to cash out. What's $50? I'm not going to take that. Well, what do you rather be? $50 up or $300 down? Of course, $50 up. So what do you mean it's not enough? Guys, this is how these machines act and are wired to act. It's time for you to take full advantage of this situation and cash out and move on.
Wait.
And rinse and repeat. You know, you gotta rinse and repeat and try that. You know, you have to try that. This reminds me of Abbey Road for some reason. So you gotta try that, guys. Try it once. Cash out when you're up, the first bonus. Do a couple of respins. Cash out, move to another machine, try it again, then try it again, then try it again, and before you know it, if you're lucky, remember the word lucky, you might all of a sudden you look up and you're up $800, $700, taking small little victories, guys. There's nothing wrong with small victories. You know, a lot of times slot players, they they're all or nothing. Like, they have to have that hand pay, or else it's a failure. No, why? Take the small victories. Cash out $50, $100. Go to another machine. Do the same. Again, it's not foolproof. This cannot work. But sometimes it does. I find myself having better success like this than just playing a machine straight out for the jackpot. So, something to think about, Sticking to your bankroll. Let's talk about that, because that can get very, very difficult, okay? To stick to a bankroll. Sticking with it. Sometimes, the thing is, you want to take money. The thing is, you don't want to lose a lot of money at casinos. You want to go there, have fun, and you don't want to lose. So for a lot of us, that means not taking as much money. And sometimes that money, it's so tough to last. It's so tough to last, guys. I gotta go around we'll go around like this. Sometimes it's so hard to make that money last that you feel the need to break your promise, go to the ATM, withdraw more money, and just fall into the hole further and further and further. How many of you guys go home after a bad night at the casino just feeling really terrible, guys? That's part reason why I didn't want to repeat that. That's part reason why I didn't want to start the new year off like this. It was so hard to walk away. It was very hard to walk away a few nights ago, guys. That's why I was so surprised at myself. The old me would have not have situational awareness, and you know me, put in more money in the machine. How many videos have you seen of mine where I'm down $500? A lot. So, being aware, knowing how much you have, not get influenced by other people winning and losing. Okay? All these kind of things at casinos, these practices that people take part in some of them are just pure rubbish, guys. Waiting for somebody to get up. The other night, again, this lady wanted to take my machine. And it's like, why do you come and want to take my machine? Lady, do you know what perceived progression really means? It doesn't mean it's going to hit. I'd rather play a machine that doesn't have everything full. I find that those hit the bonuses faster than when the triggers are full, right? Let me know if that's your observation as well. I'm telling you, that could be true. How many times you sit in a Mo Mummy and it's just, they're full, but they just don't pop. Look at this decoration here. This is cool. Christmas. Oh, these people were all into it. Very nice. Yeah, guys, take a walk in the morning, guys. It's the best. Why I do this in the morning? Well, number one, I feel fresh. I feel the morning vibes, the freshness of the air. There's not a lot of people out. Number three, you get this done. So you don't have to worry about it later on. It's not hot. Oh, I'll walk later. I'll do this later. But then you never do. You end up never walking. You end up never doing this. So, do it in the morning, fresh, when you just get up. And take care of this, man. Because going for a walk an hour a day is the best. And now I have these walk-in talks where I feel like I'm doing this. I want to make content for Storytime Slots. And it gives me the chance to get my steps in as well. So perfect win-win situation for everybody here. So what are you gonna do, guys? What are you gonna do this year? Are you gonna have situational awareness? Are you gonna have that awareness, that ability to always know what's going on around you? All right. But at the same time, guys, so important, all right? At the same time, have fun. I mean, if you're gonna go there and just be like, oh, I gotta be aware, you know, Storytime Slots says I gotta be aware, so you're just like a tightwad. Not tightwad with money, but like, you're not having fun. No, I'm not saying don't do that. I mean, I'm not saying don't do that. If it's gonna affect your mood and how you are, and where you're the kind of guy that wants to drink a little bit just to have fun. I know. Oh wait, let's talk about that. Alcohol. Right? That can blur lines. That can blur lines big time. Alright. So this is what you guys gotta be aware of. Alright, if you're a social drinker at casinos, maybe gambling shouldn't be included in this if you're going there to make money. Now, if you're going there to socialize and be a vacation gambler, like I said, I talked about being a vacation gambler and what that means. Vacation gambler, where somebody goes in there, really doesn't do it all the time, just does it because they're there. Once in a year, Las Vegas visitor goes, wants to feel the action, goes, it's his vacation money. He put $3,000, $5,000 away to gamble. He wants to drink. He wants to get drunk. Yeah, okay, I get it. You're a vacation gambler. Win or lose, you don't care. You're okay with losing 5 or 3 or 2 or whatever it is. And then you move on. You don't get hooked. You don't get addicted. You don't get... This doesn't carry on forward in your everyday life. Big difference. Alright. Whew, I need to take a little break, guys, because I am exhausted. I've been walking uphill. That whole time was all uphill, guys. That whole time was all uphill. Whew. Sorry, guys. I'm not a big fan of cutting walk and talks. I just want it to be like streamlined throughout the whole walk. So it doesn't feel edited in any way. Kind of like a slot session, right? Here we go. Railroad Riches. God, what a dumb game. Okay. So if you're a vacation gambler and you don't let it carry over to your everyday life and you go there once a year, that's fine. Get drunk, know your limits, blah, blah, blah. Don't dig into your savings or whatever. And you know your limits, that's fine. But if you're going there I suggest, if you had to ask me, I wouldn't drink when I'm playing, man, because it just blurs lines, it blurs judgment. Your situational awareness becomes non-existent, and you're not aware of anything at this point. So, no, I wouldn't drink. I'll drink after when I'm outside somewhere. I'll go to a bar, I'll go to a restaurant where there's no gambling. See, some people, and I know people like this, that have to drink to gamble. Because doing it sober, they wouldn't be able to have they wouldn't have the courage to bet big. No, there's people like that. Honestly, there's people like that. They need to drink, all right, in order to make the bets. Do you know anybody like that? I do. They wouldn't have fun. They wouldn't want to be in a casino environment. They have to have some drinks. Those combinations can be dangerous, especially if you're a routine gambler and you do this as a pastime, as a hobby. That can get dangerous. That can get destructive, guys, fast. So yeah, if you're to ask me, drinking really gets lines crossed. I think it's probably going to start raining soon, so we're almost at the end of this walk and talk. So yeah, that's that, guys. You know, being aware can mean a lot of things to a lot of people, and being aware of different things. You know, there's different things that you should be aware about. People around you, people trying to scam you, people trying to steal your machines, people trying to steal your Tito tickets, people trying to steal your chips. you know, people trying to take something from your wallet or your hoodie or your purse. Be careful of all that stuff, guys. Casinos are places where you don't know these people walking in. And I'll do a walk and talk in the future talking about all the various kind of things to be aware of. You know, we could dive deep into this awareness thing. It's not only about gambling and where you should be, awareness of what you're gambling, but awareness of your surroundings too. That's a whole different chapter. We'll get into that. We'll get into that on the next one, guys. Because there are some nefarious things that go on at casinos that you might not be aware of when you're at the casinos. You might not be aware of people trying to scam you at all times. I have a scam video that did well. Right when I opened my Storytime Slots channel, I put out a 10 scam video, top 10 scams. I'll put the link. It did actually very well. You know, talk about ATM scams, this, that, and the other. Check that out. But anyway, we'll get into that next time. So situational awareness, that's what we talked about today. You know, maybe I touched on some things that, you know, we had a conversation here, and I think it went well today. You know, got my steps in. Hopefully you're working out listening to this one. And yeah, we'll end this video right now just talking to you guys a little bit about my favorite slots for 2025, you know, moving forward. I don't know what it is about super hot flaming pots. You know, I've lost, I've won, but then I lost on that game. You know, it's been pissing me off as of late. It's super hard to get lanterns, super hard to make those pots explode now. It's funny to me how this thing was cooperating in the beginning and I was getting stuff, but then all of a sudden it just stopped working for me. It's weird, right? It's weird how that works. So we have a discussion on algorithms. We have a discussion on the player's card. I mean, all that stuff can be brought into the conversation. People might think we're crazy talking about it, but hey, you know what? Observation. I mean, you can't really second guess your observation at casinos, right? So super hot flaming pots, Dragon Link. I try to stay away from the puff games. At one point I was really into the huff and puffs, but now it's like, I don't know, I'm not really into them anymore. Railroad Riches. You know, I always say this, I'm gonna get into more 3-reel machines. I just, for some reason, those newer machines just take my whole attention away from all those older machines. You know what? I gotta start trying that, man. I have to. I'm guilty of that. So I gotta stop. I gotta do that more often, you know. But anyway, I was into Mo Mummy for some time, and you know how that went. But my biggest jackpots were on Lightning Link, Dragon Link. I think my biggest single jackpot was on Dragon Link. Dragon Cash, actually. Panda Magic was my single biggest slot machine jackpot ever. You know about that, right? 10,000 major. Yeah. Anyway, we'll end it here. This was a great conversation. Here early Sunday morning, walk and talk, episode number. Are we in 11 or 12? I think this is number 12, isn't it? Yeah. Episode 12. Maybe it's 11. It might be 12. Anyway, I'll correct it if it's not. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate you guys. If this is your first time, like, subscribe. And we'll catch you on the next walk and talk, all right? Storytime Slots, Vahagan signing out. If you're going to gamble, do it responsibly. Do it for entertainment. Take only what you can afford to lose and rock and roll. All right, guys? Situational awareness. We're going to dive deep more into this. There's a lot of things that you guys should be aware of. Not only gameplay, not only when to get up, not only when to, take your profit and run, and don't dig in. But there's other things that you should be aware of too. Other people around you. So we'll talk about that next time. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time. Rock and roll. Rock and roll. By the way, got my coffee. I had to after the walk. See you next time, guys. Love ya.